He has been called the real-life Tony Stark. He runs a private space travel corporation, the world's leading electric car company, and recently a tunnel boring company that gained attention for manufacturing a flamethrower. It's hard not to have heard about Elon Musk these days, so here's the story of Elon, Tesla, SpaceX, and beyond. Elon Reeve Musk was born June 28, 1971, to May Musk and Errol Musk in Pretoria, South Africa. His mother May was, and still is, a model originating from Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. His father Errol was a South African-born electromechanical engineer, sailor, and pilot. He also has a younger brother and sister. At the age of 17, Elon left South Africa to attend Queen's University in Ontario, Canada. This was in part to avoid mandatory service in the South African military as required after high school. As a child, Elon accelerated quickly in learning and reading. By the age of 10, he was learning basic computing, and at the age of 12, he developed and sold a game for the Commodore VIC-20 called Blastar for $500. Elon has also cited Isaac Asimov's Foundation series of sci-fi novels as a strong childhood influence. In the novels, author Isaac Asimov illustrates the story of a scientist and a form of science called psychohistory, in which the researcher predicts future societal events and catastrophes by studying patterns of the past. He was quoted on the topic of the book while speaking with Rolling Stone, saying Asimov certainly was influential because he was seriously paralleling Gibbon's decline and fall of the Roman Empire, but he applied that to a sort of modern galactic empire. He also said, "The lesson I drew from that is you should try to take a set of actions that are likely to prolong civilization."
Here's a simple passive income business that allows you to be free. You probably don't know about it, but let me tell you what you do know about. Billboards. Take a guess.
Civilization, minimize the probability of a dark age, and reduce the length of a dark age, if there is one. During this time, and up until Musk reached the age of 15, he was bullied severely by many of his classmates and peers. He was quoted on the subject saying, "For the longest time, I was the youngest and the smallest kid in the class because my birthday just happens to fall on almost the last day they will accept you into school, June 28th. And I was a late bloomer, so I was the youngest and the smallest kid in class for years and years. The gangs at school would hunt me down, literally hunt me down." It didn't take him long to step away from his studies and begin to pursue karate, wrestling, and judo in order to defend himself. Eventually, he was fighting back against his aggressors, and they soon left him alone. Elon has recalled his father verbally berating him in the time leading up to his departure from college to go to Canada. He would call him an idiot and telling him that he would never make it. His parents divorced in 1980. When Elon did eventually move, however, it wasn't long before things started to look better for him. He arrived in Canada in 1989 and began classes at Queen's. After his time in Canada, Musk left to study business and physics at the University of Pennsylvania in 1992. After graduating with an undergraduate degree in economics and staying for his second bachelor's in physics, he moved on for further education. He enrolled in and began classes at Stanford University in California, but after only 2 days, decided to drop out. His move to California had been timed perfectly with the internet boom of the mid to late 90s, and in 1995, he and his brother Kimball Musk founded tech startup Zip2. This company created and sold city guides to newspaper publishers, including the New York Times and the Chicago Tribune. In February of 1999, Zip2 was sold to Compaq for $307 million and $34 million in stocks. At 20.
How would you like to help local businesses and get compensated very well, all without ever leaving your own home? Hi, my name is Chance, and I'm feeling extremely
24 years old with 7% of the sale, Elon Musk had just made $22 million. 4 years later, in 1999, Elon Musk founded X.com. The website offered an online money transfer service via email. Not long after, in 2000, X.com merged with Confinity, another online money transfer service. Under the Confinity umbrella was a service they called PayPal, which the company was later renamed to. Elon was pushed out of his CEO position in 2000 due to internal disagreements. This turned out not to be so bad for Elon, as eBay later acquired PayPal for $1.5 billion in stock. Elon Musk was the company's largest shareholder with over 11%, allotting him roughly $165 million alone. Utilizing his newfound fortune, Elon proceeded to found another venture, this time closer to his heart. SpaceX, or Space Exploration Technologies Corporation, was founded in 2002. By 2008, the company was awarded a contract for cargo transportation to the International Space Station by NASA. And in 2012, SpaceX did just that. Their fledgling rocket, the Falcon 9, was launched from Cape Canaveral early that year. The rocket contained half a ton of cargo for the astronauts on board, making history as the first ever private company to send a rocket to the ISS. Since then, SpaceX has launched over 60 more rockets privately and commercially. But we'll get back to that soon. 1 year later, in 2003, after founding SpaceX, Elon set his sights on the motor industry and hopped on board with Tesla Motors during their Series A financing round. The company was originally incorporated by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. Martin was later pushed off the board of directors following the 2008 financial crisis, which led to internal conflict at Tesla. Elon took the chair as the company's CEO and product architect following Martin's departure. He laid off 25% of Tesla's employees and borrowed almost $500 million from the U.S. government in order to save the company from bankruptcy. Tesla went public in 2010 with sales for their yet-to-be-built Roadster already in the thousands. They were the first American car company to have gone public since the Ford Motor Company in 1956. But again, we'll get back to this. Musk, either personally or through these companies, has been involved in a great deal more ventures as well. In 2006, he conceptualized and funded Solar City, which was then run by his cousins Peter and Lyndon Rive. In less than 8 years, Solar City was the second largest provider of solar tech in the U.S. Tesla has since absorbed the company, which operates as a subsidiary under them. In 2013, Elon announced that he intended to build a high-speed transportation system that he called the Hyperloop. He wanted to have his first underground pressurized super train run from the greater Los Angeles area to the San Francisco Bay Area. Musk has also been involved in the creation of 2 artificial intelligence-based companies, OpenAI in 2015 and Neuralink in 2016. The former of which is a not-for-profit. Later on in 2016, Elon announced the Boring Company. The intent of the company was to create new industrial tunnel boring technology because the current cost per mile of drilling made his Hyperloop tunnel economically unfeasible. He tweeted on December 17, 2016 that he
It's only a family vacation if all the family is together. So you search for dog vacation.
He was going to build a tunnel boring machine and just start digging. Elon Musk is many things. He's been called a genius compared to Marvel's Tony Stark and has claimed to dream of living on Mars one day. But evidently, above all, he is someone who gets things done. Let's jump back to SpaceX. Following their first government contract, SpaceX continued to launch its rockets out of our atmosphere. They soon also successfully launched a satellite into geosynchronous orbit. But this wasn't the only intent of SpaceX. Musk had a vision of colonizing Mars, and part of his initial reasoning behind founding SpaceX was to do just that. In September of 2016, SpaceX published a video of 3D renderings depicting their intended mission to Mars. Elon was quoted as saying, "I think that a future where we are a space-bearing civilization and a multi-planet species is very exciting." He went on, "In order for that to happen, we've got to dramatically improve the cost of spaceflight." The concept he envisioned required reusable rockets, and because SpaceX is private, they do not have to adhere to the same level of red tape that government organizations generally have to follow. SpaceX also manufactures around 90% of their parts in-house. To put it in perspective, on average, for NASA to launch a comparable rocket, it would cost between $100 and $260 million. SpaceX can manufacture and launch a Falcon 9 rocket for under $300,000. The fuel alone per launch costs $200,000. SpaceX hasn't slowed down either. On February 6, 2018, they successfully launched the Falcon Heavy rocket from NASA's Kennedy Space Center. In a glamorous display streamed live on YouTube, SpaceX showed off their larger than 140,000-pound payload capability by unveiling a Tesla Roadster in Earth orbit. This stunt instantly bolstered the Falcon Heavy's status to that of the most powerful operational rocket on the planet. They've also announced plans to build a new rocket, which they've called the BFR, for Big Falcon Rocket. It's intended to stand at over 100 meters tall and carry over 550,000 pounds. Today, SpaceX is the largest private producer of rocket engines in the world and holds the world record for thrust-to-weight ratio in a rocket. Tesla, meanwhile, is also making great strides in the motor industry. Following their fledgling vehicle, the Roadster, Tesla released the Model S sedan-type car in 2012. The announcement of the Model X SUV-style vehicle came shortly after. However, its release was delayed until 2015. Tesla revolutionized the entire world of electric cars when they entered the market. Other companies in the past have tried and failed to do what Tesla has achieved in recent years. One of the biggest hurdles to overcome that their predecessors hadn't been able to leap was the car's range on a charged battery. Tesla's offer a 250-mile range per charge, which helped consumers begin to wrap their minds around the concept of electric cars. On top of that, the Model S is a desirable sports car boasting an acceleration rate of 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. Its electric engine gives the car a torque advantage over most traditional engines, allowing the Model S to outperform many cars far beyond its price. Musk also has plans to create a car for the masses. The Model 3 is intended to have a base price of $35,000, according to Tesla's blog. Even more interestingly, Elon stated in 2014 that Tesla would provide any of its technology patents in good faith to corporations with the intent of creating more affordable electric car solutions for the world. He has an agenda to shift the status quo in the motor industry. They also have plans to double the amount of charge stations currently in place in both the east and west coasts of the U.S. And it doesn't stop there. Tesla has also expressed a keen interest in tackling the semi-truck and trucking industry. It has conceptualized and tested electric shipping trucks and is taking the idea further with the intent of introducing Antonym's driving systems in them, as well as their other vehicles. One of the larger hurdles that Tesla had to overcome when they started the company was the immense cost of lithium-ion batteries, which are used to power their vehicles. In response, Musk announced plans to build an enormous lithium-ion battery factory called the Gigafactory in 2013. The end goal: to make electric cars more economically viable than fossil fuel-powered cars. After the beginning of production on the Gigafactory, Tesla also revealed the Powerwall, which was devised as a wall-mounted lithium-ion battery that could power your home through solar and other clean energy integration. By the end of 2017, Tesla had surpassed Ford's market value after only 7 years of being public. Elon Musk has also derived a great deal of attention around himself as a person, both negative and positive. Many of the videos and posts about him that are abundant on the web herald him as a genius with a plan to save humanity, and in many ways it can seem that way. He has an obviously strong motivation mission to push for more green forms of transportation, both on the road and in space. Combined with his home battery initiative, the future can feel greener. Interestingly, despite being involved in numerous AI-based or related companies, Elon has been a strong opponent of developing hyper-intelligent artificial intelligence. He has been interviewed and has spoken about his fears of robotic uprising multiple times. He's not been free of controversy either. In 2018, Musk appeared on the very popular Joe Rogan podcast, which is streamed live on YouTube. During the 2.5-hour-long interview, Musk puffed on what was described as a combination of tobacco and marijuana offered to him by host Joe Rogan. Following the interview, Tesla stocks dropped, and worries of a United States Air Force investigation in regards to his ties with SpaceX started circulating the web. Following that, on the 7th of August that year, Elon allegedly tweeted while driving, "Am considering taking Tesla private at $420. Funding secured." This shocked many people, namely the company's shareholders, and by August 24th, Elon abandoned the plan. He was also criticized in media for his attempted involvement in the crisis of the trapped children in a Thai cave system in June 2018. Musk tweeted about creating a submersible tube to assist in the evacuation of the children, but when his plans were presented to the divers at the scene, they were quick to dismiss its viability. Musk's response was to personally attack the diver in question with an unwarranted accusation. The diver in question has since filed a lawsuit against Mr. Musk following further battery on Twitter. Elon has spoken a great deal about his ideas of the future. From a colony on Mars to mechanical implants in humans to interface with computers, the future of both Tesla and SpaceX also both seem bright, not to mention the Boring Company. Only time will tell what is in store. From rocket ships in space to high-performance electric sports cars, Elon Musk has gotten the world's attention. He seems to have an innate ability to do whatever he sets his mind to. So, what do you think about Musk and his plans for the future?